Okay.
Could it be that we're back?
John, I read that with a voice in my head going, "Good evening." All right, so are you sharing it on Discord?
I am.
Okay, thank you. I love my eyes.
I love your eyes too.
I'm playing with my eyes.
Oh God, you play with your teeth, you play with your eyes.
Yeah.
Can't take this guy anywhere.
Not really. I'm an amusing date at a restaurant. Had to do the Picard thing. Okay, so we have most everybody here again. Anyway, so what was his name? Kevin Evans was the first winner for the D6s and a blood bag. D6s, blood bag. Blood's better dice, of course, because Halloween. Aub Pact. That was the stinking ritual that I modeled this ritual off of. Because the Aub Pact requires that you be a certain kind of caster or you are not allowed to get success, so you just suck at it. And so I wanted to carry that forward because that sort of makes a limitation that keeps it special for people. Like you can't just be a fiendish sorcerer and summon angels. That'd be weird. Yeah, Picard maneuver. I would hate to be a vampire because I wouldn't be able to drink coffee. That would be so fucked up. Yay! Zark is here. Something I wanted to share about War of Immortals, and it seems like people are kind of down on War of Immortals. Like this isn't what I was hoping for because it's like half new mythic rules, basically for the GM. But the sun turned. I look more ashen now.
Yeah, that was the point.
All right, great. Anyway, so people are sort of picking on War of Immortals. I've seen in Reddit and in some YouTube videos and in some of the comments of YouTube videos. But I think that something that is being missed is that like all of these mythic rules that require mythic points, that require that you be using the mythic rule system, aren't that overpowered. Like to have the ability of like you have to take 2 mythic feats in order to have the ability to counterspell any spell if you have a spell memorized of the same level. That seems completely fucking balanced. And a lot of them are like that. Like, yeah, you can do an amazing, cool thing, but it's not game breaking. It's just very useful. It's sort of like epic level rules sort of went over and above the rules, like in third edition is what I'm talking about. Like they sort of broke the rules of the previous system and they are touting mythic rules as doing the same thing. Sure, but it's breaking an extremely balanced system. And it's only breaking it a little bit. Like, who cares if you can jump an extra 20 feet? Great. You took a feat to be able to do that. That's fine. Who cares? Like, I think that the mythic rules should just be usable by everybody. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. Yeah, that's true. They did have classes that need a deity right before a new book about deities. And I've never really been big on divine spellcasting or deities unless I get to roleplay a deity because then I get to choose what role I have. Like, I get to play the time deity and fuck with people's memories. That's fun. Or I'm playing the god of death. Like, that is just another NPC to me. Aside from that, I'm not really big on clerics or divine spells. Like, do I look holy? Happy Halloween, Patrick McGrath. My teeth look yellower with my makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the lighting.
And the lighting. Yeah, that's a game. Anyway, so I think that the community about the community for Pathfinder 2 is a little too hooked on, addicted to. That's what it was. Too hung up on. I think people are too hung up on it being a super balanced system, and you can't do anything outside of that to fuck up the balance. But as I've heard have be deity, as I've heard people talk about on like D&D videos, the way to make your encounters more interesting is to purposely unbalance your encounters. If you make them a lot weaker, then people feel powerful. If you make them a lot stronger, then they immediately buy in because they have to actually think or fight for their survival. Something similar with using mythic rules in a regular system. You can use the same rules. I mean, I think it's kind of silly that you need points for it as well, because like you get them back so readily. At the beginning of every session, you have 3. That's basically saying like you can do things once a day or 3 times a day, depending. Anyway, so the point that I'm trying to make is that the mythic rules aren't really that amazing. They're not world shattering. I mean, the path to become a deity ends at 20th level. At 20th level, you're done with your character anyway. Unless you go on to bigger, greater things like fighting gods, in which case it's perfect. I don't see that the mythic rules need to be this thing to shy away from. It's just you get more toys to play with. Hi, Ski. Man, stupid pun in my head. Not gonna say it. So, does anybody watching have an idea for a major change they want to make with their character that like you want a ritual for? Because we could do that pretty easily on stream. I've never done one of these before. I don't really know how this does this. Is this how people do things on the internet? Oh, shit. And I know, Vanessa, at least you have had quite a bit of experience with having creepy shit in games. And I love your creativity with merging different concepts into a workable whole, like working fae or plant magic into your undead or otherworldly creatures. Just sit and BS. Yeah, Viper Stick. I didn't realize people were hating on the mythic rules. I think they're really neat. It's mostly Reddit that I'm talking about, but people are really aggressive on Reddit. They're like, this is the worst thing ever because this is stupid. Okay, that's not reality. Like, real reality isn't that overblown about everything. But I listened to both Bad Luck Gamer and Ronald the Rules Lawyer do a couple videos on the mythic rules, and they were enforcing that you have to be willing to run mythic rules, in which case you lose all these other things. Like the mythic points don't let you reroll attacks at all. There is a mythic destiny that allows you to do that, but just using mythic rules, you lose hero points, so you lose the ability to reroll your attacks, which is stupid. Sure, I agree that that's not a thing that is a thing that people have to decide to be willing to let go if they want to start using mythic rules. Why? Who cares? Just let it work for attacks too. Big deal. I want to be a god at level 20. Yes, exactly. That's the fun of it. And you can pick the Ascended Celestial, like Ski was talking about, or a Fiend, Like you can be a devil with your own realm that you make appear next to you. This fiery rift comes out from you and hurts people. That's neat. Or a god, of course, or one of the horsemen of the apocalypse. That's awesome. And what else was there? There's basically an immortal warrior. I don't remember the exact term, but that's basically synonymous with it. That you are a fighter, that if you die, as long as people are telling stories about you, you come back. And there's two others. One of them is a Beastmaster, and another one that is about spells, the wild spell. And there are mechanics within at least two of these mythic destinies that mean that after you die, you come back in a special way. Who cares? That's fine. That's not overpowered in the slightest. It's just fun. In fact, your character can start off with that being your previous mythic destiny. Monarch. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, just sit in BS. Thank you. I haven't gotten to read it all yet, but they seem so neat already. I think that the big confusing part for me was like, why do the mythic destinies start at level 12? And what do the mythic feats have to do with the mythic points or the mythic destinies? They're kind of, it's sort of silly to have them broken up when really they're all the same concept. It's the mythic feats are just slightly overpowered feats or slightly more powerful feats. And some of them are like, you get to swim good. Who cares? Like, they're not breaking anything. Anyway, so the mythic feats lead to mythic destinies, or sorry, lead to the mythic archetypes by choosing your original mythic concept. What do they call it? Mythic destiny. What is it? Damn it, I just switched computers. I don't have all my notes. So anyway, at the beginning of choosing starting a game that has the mythic rule system in place, you choose what kind of focus your character has and what your goal is. It could be, I want to rob the entire kingdom blind. It could be that I want to become a god. Or it could be that I want to be the best swords person in the world. Or I want to travel everywhere. And there are different, they're not even called feats. They're not anything really. They're just like labels. I guess you could call them a set of edicts and anathemas because they're that. They're sort of like you choose to be a paladin of this purpose for yourself at the beginning of your story. And then as you go along, either just leveling, you can choose mythic feats, or completing mythic challenges, which are usually just extended skill tests, skill challenges of some sort, or completing some really dangerous thing like sneak into a dragon's den and poke it on the tongue. And then you get a feat. Probably be more like stealing their egg or whatever. But once you reach 12th level, at 12th level, then you start taking the mythic archetypes and you are essentially fulfilling the destiny you originally set out to be by taking those mythic archetypes. But still, I don't see why that can't just be included. Like, they're just cool, fun feats. Just take them. And yeah, they are more powerful. Like at 12th level, you get, if you take the Beast something or other, at 12th level, you get essentially 3 feats from the Beastmaster archetype all at once. Fine. It still doesn't break anything. You have a cool, powerful puppy. Yay. Oh. I don't know if any of you watched the video that I put in the Discord channel like a couple of hours ago that was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Monster. But I like incorporating super creepy, disturbing things into games, and like, I don't understand why that's not fun for everybody. You should Jakeify the mythic rules and do a video. Yeah, I think I will. It's going to be 2 videos, actually. One of them is for... Yes, I love you. One of them is for just like the mythic rules in a nutshell, and the other one is talking about overall what each of the mythic archetypes does for you. Oh, you did watch it, Zarquan. That's good. I'm glad somebody did. So when I started this channel, I just went with like the most weird and extreme creations I could think of, because there seemed to be a niche for it in the 5e community. Because there wasn't a lot of like blood magic aside from the Tal'Dorei setting, or Tal'Dorei game, Matt Mercer. And so I did a bunch of blood magic, and then I did like horrifying machine that can be an inventor's pet that that rolls over monsters and sucks up their blood and their flesh, and uses those things to reconstruct little creatures with that monster's flesh. So there's like little miniature monsters being spewed out by this machine that go and attack your enemies for you. Yeah, that's fucked up and creepy, but so fun. And I hadn't seen stuff like that, so I did those. And now Pathfinder 2, it's like, that's too extreme? Why? Who cares? It's just fun. Morg, how dare you miss gaming for gaming? Jerk. Yes, I love you. Everything must be about him. Yes, yes. Viper Stick, I love high power campaigns because then the DM can throw even crazier encounters at us, so the mythic rules, mythic feats seem perfect for that. Yes, I agree. But it takes a GM that's not interested in focusing on just the adventure that was pre-written. Know how to do just the pre-written. I get bored. And sometimes it doesn't make any sense to me. Like at this point in the adventure, the players should put together that this is what they should do when there's nothing in the adventure to hint at that. No. Like if they need a hint, then I'm going to have some monster from there attack them and run away. Or like a ghost talks to them and says, you should go over here. Ben Noel, for me, the horror stuff used to give me anxiety attacks, not anymore, but even watching someone play a horror game would do it. So I get why some people might not want it. I guess I don't relate. Of course, I'm not saying you're wrong. And yeah, it does bother people. But I guess because we're talking about a game, it's not real. It can't hurt me. I don't. There are things that do disturb me deeply. They're just way more personal. They're not like I watched Nightmare on Elm Street and yes, hello. And now I'm like just disheveled in tears. It doesn't work that way. And I maybe I have a distance mentally from media or from outside sources. Maybe I've just been through enough that it doesn't bother me much anymore. I don't know. Andrew, question, which do you see would be a fun character for the new work campaign? Dude. I used to think you can just play anything. But the Zarquan brought up something that really seems true, that the adventures are not built with absolutely every class and ancestry in mind. So hey, get over that. So I think that there's like boundaries that work in an adventure, but not like one specific thing that would work well for an adventure. Obviously, if you have some sort of tribal tie, like you can be an animist and be a shaman, perfectly fine. That would work well. And basically any fighting type, warrior, martial, any martial, including a gunslinger, because there is a special kind of gun in that adventure. I will say that way because it's really hard to not give something away and still say something about it. So if you are a gunslinger or someone who is proficient in guns, then at some point you're going to get an advantage that other people don't have. So that's fun too. And like I said, aside from that, just anything tribal I think would work just fine. Like even if it's How does your tongue stick so far out of your mouth? Will you look at this kitty? Yeah, it took me a while to get out of my own head and lower my anxiety about stuff that didn't matter, e.g. games and stuff, but I agree that creepy stuff is fun. Well, I know you agree with that, Ben, or you wouldn't be here, because it's mostly what I do, except covering books. Yeah, he really is adorable. And it seems like he tries, but I know he's not. This is just him. What is my favorite witch build? That's an inappropriate question. Because the answer is all of them. I guess I like most something that would fit with like Slavic mythology or Russian mythology, like playing the Baba Yaga. So something that is like hag-like with occult magic, a cauldron that she flies around in, and hag nails. I guess that's probably my favorite build. That's really just a concept or a theme. But as far as mechanical features of builds go, they're super good at debuffing. Before I dived into the witch as much as I have with Pathfinder 2, since I started this channel, I was planning on making a class called the Wretch that is based on damage over time and disabling people. But the witch has part of that already, and they do that part well. The debuffing, the basically crippling the enemies so that they can be easily taken out. Witches do that really damn well, and that's probably the route I would go because it's a strength of theirs. If you take the... I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh, wow. Yeah, that eye that's red, that's an irritated eye. Is it the resentment? I think it's the resentment. The one that has the witch patron that keeps the enemy's conditions going longer. Whichever that one is, that is probably my favorite build. That and like cursing and blinding and making people frightened, that's probably the best mechanically I've seen. And it also sort of dovetails well with my idea for the mythology of the concept of a haggy witch. So I guess that would probably be my preferred build. Still waiting to do Total Murder Hobo game. Yeah, but it gets boring really, really fast. Like, if you can just walk in and murder a town, and then, like, a party of knights comes after you and you also murder them, what's the challenge? What's the fun of the campaign? Especially if you're not willing to go conquer evil things for people that are suffering. There's nothing to do. Sean, he has the best bleps. Yes, he does. Happy Halloween to you, too. And all y'all. I'm not from the South, but I've been around enough states to know that there's some phrases I just like. Morg, I'll answer that because it is a Q&A thing, because you asked questions. So, like, yeah, obviously it's a Q&A thing, or you couldn't ask any questions. Ha! Well, yeah. I mean, I want people to be open with throwing out ideas to me of, like, what they want to know. I mean, I know that I started talking about this live stream based on rituals, but that's just because that's what I was working on at the time. So, I mean, it could be about anything. Yeah, obviously I have a lot to say about witches, and I also have a lot to say about War of Immortals and the Mythic rule set right now. But you can talk about anything. I don't really care. Zarquan, I was just going to say your eye. Yeah. It is the resentment. Thank you. The fun is describing the murdering. But then, like right after that, people just, like, stop playing their characters, at least in my experience. Like, if they have the power and flexibility to go wherever they want and they're like evil or neutral, and they decide to just like murder people that are merchants or commoners, peasants, innocent people, basically. Then the end of that is you get killed or thrown in jail. You get adopted by demons and become one, or you just stop playing the character. And usually my players in the past have stopped playing their characters before the law has a chance to take them out or kill them, or take them down to jail or take them out, kill them. So I've never seen the appeal in the end. You basically ruin your character by becoming a murder hobo. Andrew, I think you didn't notice that we have a separate channel just to talk about those things. Like, I thought you were going to post stuff there. But we can talk about it when I get back to Discord after this. The Viper Stick, have you gotten around to checking out Animus? Yes, I have. I don't want to say thoroughly, because for me, thoroughly is incredibly granular. Like, I need to read it completely and understand it completely to actually be thorough in my mind. But I can tell you that I have read enough to understand its strengths, its weaknesses, and something I don't like about it. And of course, a few other things. Like, they have no feats that give them focus points or focus spells. So taking Animus multiclass archetype never allows you to get their powerful focus abilities, because you don't start with them and you can't take a feat to get them. So the purpose of taking the Animist as a class archetype, multiclass archetype, is to allow you to have like random skills when you want them. Like, I need to know about volcanoes today, so I have volcano lore. And also for having somewhat more flexible spell casting. There's not a lot that benefits you if you're looking at it from a multi-class archetype stance. But the Animist, because they have so many apparitions, people have been saying it's a complex class, but it's really not. Not to start with. Not when you're making your character. But every morning and during every fight is complicated. Because you're like, okay, I have these 2 apparitions. Which one should be my primary for the rest of the day? Or what should my secondary, what should my primary become after I use this feat ability that causes this apparition to take off? Like, you have to think through strategy a lot more with the Animist continuously. Ski, of the new class archetypes, which do you think is best designed, and which do you see yourself personally playing? Well, the worst design is the Avenger. The best design, I think I have to say, I don't. Okay. I think better sometimes by talking it out. So I like the Blood Rager. It seems designed well. It seems like it does its job well. That being said, people have said that it's not the original Blood Rager from PF1. I don't care, because I never played it. I never even read it. And I can tell you that it has options that I think a blood-based angry caster should have. It's not just functional, it's quite useful and fun. And you get to lick the blood of your enemies off of your blade. So yeah, that's going to be part of it for me. And the Vindicator is also overall really good. I still don't like its dedication, but that's fine. Overall, besides that, it's pretty nice. I'll say a word about the Seneschal. I don't think it's the best made, but I love the feel of it. It's not super powerful, but I think that I love the concept and the direction they were going, and I think that I need to expand on that. Like, you should be able to put your mark multiple places, not just have one mark. So I guess that one is not designed particularly well, but I also love the concept. So I think that Blood Rager and Vindicator are the best designed. Blood Rager first. Zark one. Animist is bananas, and I'm here for it. Yes, Animist is your freaking class, man. Like, you basically just made an Animist with your mystic, cat, sorcerer, cleric, shadowcaster, invisible, spirit monger. So, like, right before the Animist came out, you made one. You can say you did it before it was cool. Sean, I mean, if it's a surprise volcano, that might not be that bad. Volcano Lord, don't jump in, yes. Yes, I want to see them put Baba Yaga into remaster. Absolutely. It seems like Baba Yaga also doesn't just need to have the animated object ability. It's not amazing. It's okay. I'll say that it's useful mechanically. It doesn't really fit Baba Yaga to me. Yes, she had animated objects. She also had talking animals. She also had magic that would let her tear someone apart, and yet they still live. Like, she had a chicken-footed house. That just because she had one of these things doesn't mean that that needs to be the main focus. I don't know. Oh, let's do another drawing thingy. 4, 5, 9. Okay, so I'm gonna do the drawing for the 9-piece blood spider dice. Surprise volcano is still getting me. Like, you're just walking through town. Oops, volcano. Okay, so let's see who wins the 9-piece blood spatter. Christopher Steves, 9435. The comment was, "Ooh, the clicky clacky of the dice are so nice. Can't wait." So Christopher Steves, I don't know, just like looks like a bunch of E's in a row. You win the 9-piece blood spatter dice. Congratulations, sir. You will love them, and they'll love you back.
What color?
Oh yeah, and get hold of me on Discord, or you can go to the YouTube About link page. They changed it; it's not a full page anymore. But there's an email address there, or like I said, come to Discord. The description is in the link of the link is in the description of like every video, and it's also on the YouTube homepage, my YouTube homepage. So let me know what color you want the numbers inked as well.
And where to send them.
Well, yeah, we have to talk on Discord. Yes, all her powers is very lackluster. Just look, I can make a broom dance for 1 round. Yeah, I'm the ultimate hag witch. Scared Slavic people to death. My ex-wife could animate objects to throw at me during an argument. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, that is a particular set of powers. Yep. I am almost finished with the archetype. Okay, so like I only know of the people watching that I know are watching. Vanessa, you'll be familiar with this. So I am almost done creating the archetype for a flesh crafter. It's sort of a more refined flesh warper. It is all about 3 things, really: modifying your own body, modifying the body of a living humanoid pet, friend, companion you have, and modifying your enemies' bodies in extremely harmful ways. I haven't figured out how to do all of it mechanically yet, and that's why I'm not quite done yet. But if you've played Vampire, it's the Jamisi's Vicissitude, the Flesh Crafters. And it seems like there was something of flesh warping really missing from this system. Because, yeah, you have the flesh warped ancestry, and there's stories of flesh warping done by wizards. And there's flesh warped monsters. I've used them. I use them in the Slithering because it kind of fit-ish. Like, if I make a mad scientist responsible for all these slimes, then he's also responsible for flesh warping creatures. It kind of fits. So it made sense with the theme. And anyway, so I think every time I say anyway, I'm just nervous. Yep. So the flesh warping is not a mechanic that any player can choose. And I think that's sad. Like, that is an aspect of the world that has a huge impact on people, how they travel, on how regions are formed, what kind of monsters populate different areas, and how the economy of some countries function. Like, flesh warping matters. It should exist. So it's the archetype is based mainly on having a pet that you can morph into monstrous shapes, so they get like natural weapons like bone spears that they can stab people with, or they get super fast or really protective, and you can modify them on the fly with your hands. But also the you can essentially just do damage to the enemy with something really similar, or like modified corpses because they're also just flesh. And the thing that I'm still trying to figure out how to do is reaching into your enemy and grabbing their spine and using them as a shield. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. Obviously, it's some sort of athletics check. So this is basically a very like strength-based crafting intelligence archetype. It's very weird, obviously. And so I'm going to ask Aralorn for some feedback on the mechanics, because I know he's a fucking stickler for mechanics and lore. Ski, I love the idea of a flesh warper player character so in love with themselves, thinking that when he flesh warps his enemies, he thinks he's... Yes, exactly. You didn't know you could breathe out of your feet. Isn't that nice? I gave you mouths where you didn't have them. You're welcome. I'm testing out the theory by playing an NPC with those functions in a one-shot that has now become a two-shot. That is a special Monster Mash Halloween one-shot with people on the Discord. So I've stopped running a monthly adventure one-shot myself because it just took so much time up to create. I don't have the time. But it is still something that we can continue on the server in general with people willing to run them, and maybe occasionally I will run them. But it's not going to be a constant thing anymore. I got through 2 of them, and they extended into multiple sessions, multiple weeks, and it just sort of ate up my time. So this is unfortunately the last one, but it does give me a playground to experiment with how this creature might function when fighting things like undead, because it's an adventure that is really heavily vampire themed. It's all about trying to stop the I'm just thinking maybe some of these players are going to be watching. I don't think anybody here is in the game. Oh, well, I'll give it away. So the most powerful vampire lord of the region, who I just totally ripped off the name of Dracula from, Vladislav Draguya is his name. And he has gathered together the most powerful of each type of vampire that are in Pathfinder 2. And they have kidnapped clerics in order to sacrifice them to infuse these powerful elder vampires with the ability to walk in daylight and be completely unfazed by it, so not even the slowing. And then the other vampires that they create would also have this immunity. So it's really heavy vampire themed. Already when the group appeared, a bunch of vampires jumped off a cliff onto their pirate ship to try to kill them. So anyway, there's lots of opportunity to experiment with things that I wouldn't normally be able to, because like there's lots and lots of bodies to just see what you can do something with. Like if you fail trying to rearrange that vampire's face, you can try it on this other vampire. So there's lots of opportunity there. to play with a new archetype. Viper Stick. Ooh, I love the sound of that archetype. Just sounds like it might go well with Inventor if it deals with strength and crafting stuff. It would go well with Inventor, and I didn't think of that. It does use crafting to flesh craft, basically, because it's sort of the same thing. And it also allows you to use flesh crafting skill, as medicine, because instead of like putting a bandage on somebody's wound, you're like sealing the flesh with your fingers, so it just stops the blood from flowing. It also sounds badass to play. Thank you, John. I made it myself. Zark 1, flesh warping reminds me of bio-wizardry. It is both incredible and horrible, using transmutation, microbes, parasites, and symbiotic organisms to enslave, augment, or mutate other beings. Yep. But because it's just flesh warping in general doesn't really have any categorization, it's just anything that is biologically uncommon and caused by an outside source and is not an ancestry is flesh warped. I mean, that's the gist I get. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's the way it feels. So I want to have some sort of hard and fast mechanic, and I want people to be able to see how horrible that actually can be. Like the sidekick, the companion of the flesh crafter in this 1-shot, 3-shot, I don't know. She is 7 feet tall and really broad because she is holding extra bones that have been implanted in her, and extra muscles and extra fat, extra everything, so that it can be used later on to give her weaponry, like make her have claws or giant fangs or bat wings. So I want the companion to really show the extremes that can be done with the body. And yeah, that will obviously imply horror to some people. But it's in the guise of a group of a pair working together. So it's not something that is just in the hands of the NPCs anymore. It's something that a player character can do. And yeah, it's disturbing, but I'm also hoping that it'll give some ideas for GMs to do in combat or in storyline with flesh warping, because that's another thing I've noticed is that flesh warping, I feel like I'm wrong about this, but I haven't seen any adventure that is about flesh warping. There's Abomination Vaults. Is there a bunch of flesh warping in there? I don't know. I've never played it, but I've read through some of it and I just didn't see a strong theme of flesh warping. Anyway, that's why I wanted to talk to James Jacobs and see if he has something to add to that, because I know he loves the cosmic horror, tentacled eldritch monster kind of thing. Still trying to set that up. Viper Stick, I gotta play a flesh warp inventor with that archetype now. Yeah. That would be fun too, because like you basically create the Borg from Star Trek if you're an inventor combining flesh and machinery, or for like Phyrexia, if you're familiar with Magic the Gathering. Is there a way to mute myself? I need to know this, because I need to blow my nose.
I don't actually know.
Mute! Just a moment, I have to blow my nose. So you're going to see it, but at least you won't hear it. Boop. There we go. I haven't used these contacts in a while, and I think the right one is in backwards. It's hard to tell. There's 60% water. It's just black on one side, black on the other. I don't know. It's not like there's a tag that tells you the back. Golemancy? Yeah, that makes sense, because you're modifying your pet. That's something else that I want to have in like all of my games that I don't think Pathfinder took with it from D&D, and that is that the spirits that golems are powered by souls. They have spirit energy in them. That's how they function. And those spirits, they used to be other creatures. They were basically snagged on their way to a new life or on their way to the afterlife from death and shoved into a golem. That's why the clay golem has the berserk thing, because it's fucking pissed. That makes sense. Same thing with genies and Ifrit. All of the is there a general term for them? Jinn? All of those guys, the elemental creatures, those, at least in D&D, are formed of souls that basically got lost on the way to the afterlife. The afterlife is chaotic, and the planes are chaotic too. So they like somebody dies and they run across a plane, a gate to the plane of air, and planar air rushes out and envelops their spirit, infuses it, and they're now a genie. They are half spirit, half air. Same thing with Ifrit and fire, or Tao and earth, or the other ones, Marids and water. Broxigan's Soulbound Dolls. Those exist in PF2 as well, but I haven't read them. I thought they were just a precursor of puppets. Maybe they're not. I don't know them. Does anybody here have a specific interest in having a new functioning something in game that you just didn't think could happen before? And I know I'm being vague, but that's on purpose, because I want to see if we can wrap it into a ritual, to see if it's something that a ritual can do. And you guys are my experimentation pool. That sounded rather flesh warpy. I mean that I don't know how this functions on a stream yet, because I've never tried it. I want to know if we can sort of create something, or at least narrow down on how it would be created. And of course, you can do anything with the wish spell. Not talking that, but like a tweak to something that exists that you wish you could do, or some new concept that you wish you could do, like living backpacks or something. I don't know. Oh, and if any of you are interested in an adventure and you have not played Stolen Fate, look at it, or ask your GM to look at it. It is fascinating. And I love that in the adventure, yeah, there's a bunch of travel and stuff, but you go to other planes. I have not seen an adventure since 3.5 where you go to other planes in the adventure. Yeah, it starts at 11th level. The adventure does. And so it sort of justifies it. But like right at 11th level, you go to another plane. And it has a lot of that and a lot of modifying your home. That's fucking neat. The central hub that you play from is highly modifiable. And I think that's what I love the most about it. It's sort of like carrying your own like airship with you. Like not like in the Marvel universe, like Nick Fury's airship. I forget what it was called. But something huge like that you can just keep changing and modifying. How about a ritual that opens your third eye so you can switch senses between planes, but only one at a time? Yeah, I see no reason not to do that. I mean, that has its roots in real world occultism too. That makes perfect sense to me. High level ritual for flying carriage. I think we can take the mystic carriage and just let it heighten to have, instead of, I think it just has additional space. Does it level at all? Crap, now I have to look it up. Yes, it does have a heighten that is stupid. The Mystic Carriage's heighten is the carriage's AC, fortitude, save, and hardness increases by 2 for each one level you heighten it. Its hit points increase by 20, and its broken threshold increases by 10. Who cares? So I think that maybe you should have, in addition to the +1, have like a +2, so that every 2 levels it increases, it gains a new mode of transportation. Like, this thing doesn't go on the water or underwater. That'd be awesome. You can summon a submarine. Yeah, that'd probably be before flying. But I think that 7th level is perfectly fine to have your own flying vessel with a ritual. Hell, even 5th might be okay. Yeah, maybe if you heighten it too. So 5th rank, fly is 3rd or 4th. Okay, no, it would have to be 7th to have flying, because the 5th is just a little low level. Because the fly spell can be 3rd. It can be, what is it, 3rd or 4th level? Fuck, I don't remember. It's 4th. Okay. Yeah, and at 7th it increases to 1 hour. So the Mystic Carriage being a 7th rank ritual sort of melds well with the fly spell. I mean, it sort of matches the power level increase. Then at 7th rank, the Mystic Carriage could have flying. Why not? And something I love about that is that there's not really any way for it to like get waylaid unless it's like an airship or a genie. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Yeah, 7th rank would be fine for that. I know it's a really high rank still. Sorry, but in order to do what the Mystic Carriage does, it would have to be higher level. How about a ritual that opens your 3rd eye so you can switch senses between planes, but only one at a time? La 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 la. Let's look at the rituals. Fourth seems about right for that power level. Astral projection brings you to another plane, and that's 5th rank. 4th rank is Atone, Blight, Concealment's Curtain, Garden of Death, Plant Growth, Recall Past Life, Rest Eternal, Simulacrum. I think even though it seems like it might be powerful, I think that 4th rank is fine. I think it might just have a high monetary cost, or you'd have to cast it every week or something like that to be able to do it again. Because at 5th rank ritual, Astral Projection, it can bring, what is it, multiple people? Astral Projection, 5th rank, actually moves people into the astral realm. So being able to see the astral realm seems to me should be 4th rank instead of 5th rank. And yeah, you could change it between different kinds of vision. That's neat. Yeah, so we can make a modifiable 4th rank ritual that allows you to choose one sense to activate at a time. Maybe you can only change it once every 10 minutes. And you can choose from a variety of perceptions. Like, you can duplicate the detect magic, detect metal, detect detection, detect time sense, those different detection spells. Or you can see into coexistent planes, or one coexistent plane at a time. That would be useful. Yeah, it would be expensive, but I think that 4th rank is perfectly fine for that. Maybe I can drop an outline for that. So how would we do that with another ritual? Hmm. Damn. There's nothing else here that really works quite well. I think that the closest is probably commune. Yeah, commune or commune with nature. Yeah. We can just gut commune and use its cost. Duration's only up to 10 minutes, and it costs a day to make. Oh, okay, because you're asking questions. You could probably activate it 10 minutes at a time. I can't really show my screen. Well, this is bringing up issues for me to take care of the next time. Brox, again, is that sort of... am I on the right track for what you were looking for? Because I think 4th rank... I think 150 gold is a little low. We need a ritual that lasts longer than that. But there aren't many. Well, there's a year. A week. That's right. And we can probably use this one. The cast time is 6 days and duration is a week. Wow. That really sucks for cast time. I think I'd probably lower it to like a day so that you could actually do it in an adventure. So I think I'd actually borrow Concealment's Curtain. Can I right click this? Copy. Open third eye chakra. How does one paste in chat? There it is. Okay, so I'd probably use that as a starting point. Concealment's Curtain. I would reduce the cast time to 1 day. Require 1 secondary caster should be fine. But I would probably make it 100 gold piece per sense you want to impart. And we could do it that way. Then if that's the case, then you have access to all those senses for that week, and you can just switch those senses each turn if you want. That sounds fun. I like that. Make it easy to see ghosts too. What's interesting to me is that, like, it doesn't say... I think there would have to be some sort of, like, upcast to see through objects. No, because those objects don't exist on other planes. I'm thinking of ghosts. See the unseen. Okay. No, that's not a concern, because you're looking on other planes. So you're looking directly on the ghost's plane. My lipstick has stuck surprisingly well. Have any of you tried the vampire archetype with the changes that I made in a game? I heard from one person that they did, and no, actually two. And the most recent one said that it worked really well and their GM liked it. I think that was just a GM that was kind of like willing to go with stuff. But I'm wondering if anybody has tried it. Okay. I'm going to do the final drawing. The final drawing for Blessed Battered Dice. I think that Storm was having fun with this one because there's like this blood smear down one side. You see that? Yeah. Oh, fuck. A cursed carrot that made evil snowmen. Yeah, I agree. The streak should be the 20. A cursed carrot that made evil snowmen. I mean, I don't really see any reason to worry about how that's made. It doesn't really have another purpose except to create an adventure. I mean, obviously, if you like try to eat it, you become an evil snowman. And then people can steal your own nose and make other evil snowmen. I don't know why I said obviously. Of course that's the way that would work. Duh. All right, so let's do the final drawing for the 45 millimeter blood spatter D20. I love the 45s. They are fun to roll. Just makes thunder with just one die.
And thankfully, they are small enough that you don't need something to roll them on.
Oh, yeah. This, you need something to roll it on.
And just so you guys know, we are going to be doing a giveaway for one of these 80 millimeter liquid core dice when we reach 3,000 subscribers.
Kiss it. Kiss it. Right, 3,000 subscribers. We're doing a giveaway, a YouTube giveaway similar to this one for one of those. Eyes are bleeding. So, I mean, not literally.
That kind of looks like it, though.
Does it?
They're really red.
It's just this one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's puffy now.
Yeah.
That's cool. Dumbass. It's hard to tell. I should have inverted it. If only I could like put a mark on one side. I know. I'll just like make a little hole on what. That'll be safe. All right. So let's see who gets the last die. The 45 millimeter blood spatter. Magoons. That is a great name. Magoons. Those are some great dice, was the comment they left. So, Magoons, you also get a blood bag. I love these. I want a hat that's blood streaked. This is great. Anyway, you get the die and where am I? Can't see it anyway because bright. Whatever. That's a blood spatter die. It goes in the blood bag. Contact me on Discord because you need to tell me who you are because I cannot just ship things to an email address. Doesn't work that way. And also let me know what color you want the numbers.
Remember to tell them that if they didn't win today, they can because we have a drawing tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. If you really, really wanted to win, like your life depends on it, then I'm sorry, you're probably screwed. But if that's the case, there is another drawing tomorrow for only patrons. So you could sign up today to be a patron and you would go into that drawing. We haven't done it yet, obviously, because the month hasn't ended. Why are you tickling my leg? It wasn't Storm. It was... You know what? It doesn't matter what I say. You're going to believe what you want. Hi. I see the point of Picard doing this. It rides up. There.
And that will be for a 9-piece.
Yeah, sorry. I lost track. The patron poll, the giveaway, will be for a 9-piece set and a blood bag. Hi. You're very cute. I love his little swirl. Swirl. I just made a pattern. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Well, I was planning on staying on this chat for a really long time, even though I had no like goal just to chat. But I think I'm going to go because my eye is going to pop out of my head.
Please don't do that.
I don't want to do it on camera. But, you know, I'll take my eye out later. So good night, everybody. Happy Halloween. I think I'll go watch The Crow now because it's basically a Halloween movie. Yeah. I already watched Nightmare Before Christmas. And the song is still stuck in Storm's head.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for being here. I'll talk to you again soon on Discord or elsewhere, like here on YouTube's. Yeah, crow! Ha! I didn't know there was a crow emoji. How did you get that? Zarquan, you surprise me. What is that?
He has all the cool toys.
I know! And it's like he somehow has them like organized in his head or really easy to find. I don't know. Whatever. Good night, everybody! If you did not catch the live stream and you are watching this later, please feel free to leave in the comments any ideas that you might want made into a ritual, and we can discuss how that might be done. And if it's something that really sparks my curiosity, I'll just make it. Because as you see in the download, I already have made a ritual that I'm going to do a video on. It might be brief, but I want people to have access to the ritual. So, you know, it should be made.
And if you're not already on our Discord, come join us on Discord and chat with us.
Yes. For those of you who did not hear her, you weren't paying attention. Because that was loud. Feel free to join us on Discord. Or, you know, don't just feel free, but do it. Because join us. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He wants to walk around right now. So if you want to just talk with like-minded weirdos who also occasionally talk about like their favorite meal that they made and share silly ass music videos and are basically just all-around nerds, you can get to the Discord server by going to the link in the channel's YouTube page, or you can click in the bottom of any video. As soon as this video is done shooting, I will put the link in this one as well. Okay, good night. Somebody's cutting onions, and they're in my eye. Night.